In this video we are going to take a closer look at the arguably most iconic firstborn Space Marines with jump packs, the Vanguard Veterans. First we will take a look at their datasheet and general abilities, then we will go through how to specifically make use of them in a Deathwatch army. Lastly, there will be some modeling recommendations and a quick wrap up. This release is part of a mini-series on the Proteus Kill Team, which will cover all the units available to that kill team.
Welcome to SwissHammer, your channel for modeling in Warhammer 40k. My name is Tammer, and I will be guiding you through this video.
Jumping right into the datasheet, the Vanguard Veterans are an elite choice for Space Marines, and as their name implies, they come with the default firstborn veteran profile that we already know well from our own Deathwatch Veterans. As I said many times before, the benefits of having Deathwatch Veterans as our base troops is massive, but without sidetracking too much, what stands out in a direct stats comparison is that Vanguard Veterans come 1 point cheaper. This is something to keep in mind for later, when we will be looking at including them in a Proteus Kill Team. By default, they come equipped with a bolt pistol and a chainsword, and they have the Melt a Bomb keyword, which unlocks a corresponding stratagem, which we will also cover later in the video. They then get access to jump packs at 3 points, and a variety of close combat war gear, including the infamous Heavy Thunderhammer of the Deathwatch. What is worth mentioning here is that any model can be equipped with the Heavy Thunderhammer, contrary to the Deathwatch Veterans, where you can only take one hammer for each 5 models. This means that technically you could run a 10-man Vanguard Veteran squad with as many Heavy Thunderhammers. Another thing to look out for is the wording on the jump pack though, where it says all of the models can be equipped with one, meaning you either upgrade none or all. They also get access to storm shields, and especially early into 9th edition, the perhaps most popular loadout for them was single lightning claw, storm shield and jump pack, a combo that still works well to this day. But anyway, moving on to the mentioned stratagems, what stands out here is the Melt a Bomb, due to the corresponding keyword that I previously mentioned. This 1 CP stratagem can be used in the fight phase. You select one model in that unit, and that model can then make one attack only, which must target an enemy vehicle, but if a hit is scored, that unit suffers 2d3 mortal wounds. Pretty handy to have. We then also have Hammer of Wrath, which is available to jump pack units after they finish the charge move. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of that jump pack unit and roll 1d6 for each model in that jump pack unit that is within engagement range of that enemy unit. For a roll that equals or exceeds the enemy unit's toughness, it suffers 1 mortal wound. This one can be pretty decent against lower toughness targets, but in general I would consider it a bit niche. With the basics out of the way, while a Vanguard Veteran squad can be a solid addition to any Space Marine army, the important thing to consider for the Deathwatch is whether to bring these guys along as an actual Vanguard Veteran squad or to include them into the Proteus Kill Team. The short answer here is that as far as I'm concerned, they should always be part of a Proteus Kill Team, at which point they become troops and therefore gain OPSEC, which is already immensely beneficial for playing the new mission format well. In addition to this, their interaction with mixed units in a kill team brings great benefits. First of all, by including at least one Vanvet into the kill team, the whole unit gets the Melt a Bomb keyword. Of special note here is that any model can then throw the Melt a Bomb. Picture the random Deathwatch Veteran snatching the Melt a Bomb from the belt of the Vanvet. This can for instance be useful when the Vanvet wields Thunderhammer or similar and you don't want to waste those attacks and take a random vet with a Storm Shield or Chainsword instead. Furthermore, by adding jump packs, the kill team now gets access to the fall back and shoot stratagem, which might come in handy. As previously mentioned, getting the jump pack upgrade is all or nothing for Vanvets, and this restriction remains active while in a kill team, meaning that if you bring 2 along in a kill team, both either have the jump pack or not. Then another great advantage is that they have no limit on Heavy Thunderhammers, unlike the Deathwatch Veterans. As a result, if you are looking to maximize the amount of hammers, Vanvets are great to have along. Then last but not least, in case they do happen to end up with the same loadouts as Deathwatch Vets, keep in mind that they are 1 point cheaper. All in all, plenty of great benefits there. So now that we have decided to bring them along as part of a Proteus Kill Team, how can we best make use of them in the Deathwatch? Previously, I have done an entire video on the Proteus Kill Team and its competitive loadouts. The link is in the description. For the purposes of this video, I will highlight a few powerful combos featuring Vanguard Veterans. The first and perhaps most obvious is adding 5 Vanvets and splitting them off with combat squads. In that case, they work just like a regular squad of Vanvets, except that they are now troops and OPSEC. They can then for instance be deployed through their Death from Above ability. However, I think Vanvets truly shine in the Deathwatch when they are mixed with other datasheets, as previously mentioned. One such combo I like in particular are 3 veteran bikers and 2 Vanvets, at which point the whole unit becomes T5 and the bikes now get the infantry keyword and can interact with terrain as such, while still keeping a great threat range thanks to the chump packs of Vanvet mixed into the deal. I covered this one in more detail in my previous video about the practical approach to the Proteus Kill Team, which I linked in the description. Beyond that, mixing 1 or 2 Vanvet into a full-strength Proteus Kill Team has been immensely popular in competitive play these past few months, mainly because of the Costello-style Proteus Kill Team, and especially so by its later iteration designed by Mikkel Klangby. Originally, a single Vanvet was used mainly for access to the Melta Bomb and occasionally the Strat, but with the addition of Armor of Contempt, there is now less dependency on Storm Shields, which opened up new possibilities for assigning hammer duty within the kill team. While the original kill team composition introduced by Michael Costello put Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators in, Mikkel Klangby optimized the spread of hammers by moving away to a single Terminator tank with cheapest loadout as initial ablative wounds, and then equipped 2 much faster Vanvets with Heavy Thunderhammers, in addition to the Sergeant and the Black Shield already carrying hammers. The main advantage here is that in addition to being able to bring more heavy versions of the hammers, once the Terminator dies, the kill team gains extra mobility, and the Vanvets themselves are more likely to reach their intended targets due to their much greater movement. For a more detailed coverage of this particular kill team composition, feel free to check my latest tournament coverage, or the first-hand tournament report by Mikkel himself, which I linked in the description. All in all, Vanvets are a great addition to a Deathwatch army, and they work particularly well as part of a Proteus Kill Team. Then last but not least, let's have a look at some modeling recommendations. First of all, good news on the Vanguard Veteran box itself. It comes with a lot of chainswords, something that the Deathwatch Veteran box is lacking, even though Deathwatch Bolt Gun and Chainsword is a cheap and effective loadout at this point. That means if you are stocking up on Vanvets, you also get a couple extra chainswords, and the box also includes storm shields, which is always handy. The box itself aside, I do of course recommend to magnetize, and here I don't just do it for the arms, but also for the backpack, or rather chump pack depending on loadouts. The reasons for this are that perhaps you don't always want to bring one, and perhaps even more importantly, a Vanvet without the chump pack is basically just another Deathwatch Veteran body. It is a bit of extra work, but I fully magnetize all my Deathwatch and Vanguard Veterans, arms and backpack, and this allows me to freely use them as either models. To wrap things up, over the course of the video, we have looked at Vanguard Veterans, which are an elite choice for regular Space Marine armies, but we in the Deathwatch can include them in a Proteus Kill Team, at which point they become troops and gain OPSEC. Furthermore, by making them a part of a mixed unit Proteus Kill Team, they unlock several interesting options. First of all, they unlock the Melt-A-Bomb keyword and corresponding stratagem for the whole kill team, and keep in mind, any model can then throw the bomb, and they also unlock access to the fall back and shoot stratagem if they are equipped with a jump pack. Beyond that, unlike the Deathwatch Veterans, they are not locked to a single Heavy Thunderhammer for each 5 models, but instead can take as many as there are Vanvets. This allows for interesting kill team compositions, such as a Clanby-style kill team, which includes 2 Vanvets with the heavy hammers, another one on the Sergeant, and then a regular one on the Black Shield. That's a lot of hammers, and the great mobility of the Vanvet also allows them to get them where they need to be. Speaking of great mobility, another popular combo is to add 3 veteran bikers and 2 Vanvets, and then split them off with combat squads, at which point the whole unit becomes T5, keeps great mobility, and the bikers even gain the infantry keyword and can potentially benefit from a Vanvet with a storm shield on top as ablative wounds. Then lastly, as always, magnetizing these guys is highly recommended, as there are multiple competitive loadouts, and if you go the extra mile and also magnetize their jump packs, you can freely exchange them with Deathwatch Veterans as needed. All in all, yet another great firstborn unit to bring along in the Deathwatch. So that's it for the Vanguard Veterans in the Deathwatch. Have you guys been using these yourself? Or are you favoring other models and kill teams instead? Let me know in the comments. Finally, I would also like to mention that there is a SwissHammer Facebook page where I will be posting links to my videos as well as articles I find of interest. I do read a lot about the hobby, but not all of it will always end up as its own video. I look forward to seeing you there as well. I do also have a Patreon page. If you like my content, any additional support is greatly appreciated as it helps me invest into future videos. As always, thank you very much for watching, guys. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. I hope you have been enjoying this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again and see you next time.